我们今生注定是沧桑。
China, where's the links? Where are the links? China's out here exposing all the luxury brands saying, come order from us. Come order straight from us. Stop paying $100 for Lululemon leggings. Come buy them from us for $5 or $6. Where? Where's the link? I want the $5 or $6 Lululemon leggings. Please, please, where do I order? China. You can't just be out here exposing this shit and not tell me where I can order, okay? Where am I getting the Birkin bag?
Well, looks like we're about to start buying Nikes, Chanel bags, and Louis off a TikTok shop with China. Giving up everything on the low. They put it all out there.
Do you know how much a Chinese factory make for a pair of Nike shoes? $10.
The Prime Minister of Canada, big guy, tears in his eyes, he called me and he said, sir, if you do this, you will upend the global economy, take the stocks and bond markets and unite your allies against you. And I said, let me cook. And then I burned dinner badly.
Oh yeah, Trump, because you definitely overcooked this one, because I don't think him and his administration expected China to pull this.
China is fully prepared to fight to the very end because the world is big enough that the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction of completely shutting itself out of the China market, be my guest.
Yeah, and China will lose the US market, which, as I've said, is 15%.
We don't care. We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived. And if the United States wants to bully China, we will deal with the situation without the United States. And we expect to survive for another 5,000 years.
But if you guys haven't heard, in retaliation for Trump tariffs that he imposed on China, China has been exposing a lot of luxury brands, devaluing their worth by letting Americans know that they're pretty much made for dirt cheap in China and then sent to other countries and marked up 1,000 times more than the cost. And it's also causing a lot of discussion online. Let's get right into it.
They probably should have took this app away when they had the chance, because the Chinese manufacturers just hit them folks with the Uno reverse. And right now, the Chinese manufacturers are the best content on TikTok. They said, oh, tariffs, you say? Oh, okay. American people, y'all said y'all like New Balance, Adidas, Nike, bet. Oh, yeah, the manufacturer is such and such, located at such and such in Guangzhou. They do shipping within this time, and here are the products. I've seen the manufacturers for every brand anybody could possibly think of, from shoes and apparel to beauty products. One of the Chinese manufacturers said, oh yeah, you know how you pay such and such $100 for Chanel beauty products? Well, we only make them for $10.
When that Chinese man got on his app and said all the luxury items are made in China and they only go to Italy to have the tag put on it, the designer tag, and once that designer tag is put on it, now it can say made in Italy, because only that small little percentage was actually made in Italy, but that's all it takes to say made in Italy. Now it makes it over here to our designer boutiques, and we're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for something that was in fact made in China, not Italy. I don't care how much you're spending on a thing. Chances are it is coming from China. The only part that was actually made in Italy was when they put the designer tag on there. And this is why the wealthiest of wealthy people buy inspired by items. Why? Why would you spend the whole day? Listen, I did a whole series on Birkins, but one of the videos was talking about the Birkin sort of like Tupperware party that all the wealthy Upper East Side women in New York have. They're not spending money on real Birkins. They're not shucking and jiving for Birkin. They call the people over in China and get the same things.
All right, who else is glued to Chinese manufacturer TikTok? Man, they are blowing up the luxury goods market. I think they're going to blow it up much more than Bethany Frankel did for Chanel. One that is going around a lot, Senbags, S-E-N. I recommend you follow them. The gentleman went through the entire breakdown of how they create an Hermes bag, which is valued at, if you buy it in the U.S., $38,000. He goes through like every single thing that they use, the exact quality of an Hermes bag that they make in their warehouse. and the US dollar cost is $1,400. The difference between the $1,400 of actual labor and resources and the $38K is when Hermes puts their label on it. And they make all of these other luxury oh my God. Look, but at this point, if anyone is buying luxury goods anymore, I would have to ask, do you need your head examined? I'm here for it, man. I'm loving this. Who else is glued to this?
Starting a trade war on social media is my new obsession. As somebody who worked in supply chain management, I actually love that guy did a whole breakdown of how much a Birkin bag costs. It was around $1,400, and then they sell them for $38,000. And he said the only difference between my bag and the one that you buy at the Hermes store is the stamp, the logo. And then come to find out that only 1% of the bag has to be manufactured in France in order to get the made in France stamp. Like, what? So you're literally telling me that with all of these luxury goods, you are what we have all been saying, all of the non-brand snob people saying, you are just paying for a logo. You are. You're paying for a logo. To the girl that came on exposing Lululemon, I absolutely love you. There were rumors that my favorite pair of leggings that are absolutely amazing, that cost around $25 a pair if they're not on sale, were made in the same factory as Lululemon. And she's saying now that here's this website and you can buy them direct for $5 to $6. Bet. I don't need that little thing on my booty. I don't care about brands. I care about quality. And on that note, I will say what I have noticed in all of these China luxury brand exposure videos is that they are not calling them factory workers. They're not calling them anything else. They're calling them craftsmen, which I think is a huge compliment to what they do.
So the next time you think you're finna go into a Hermes or however you say that shit, LV store and get one of them bags, just remember China just came out and said that they've been making the bags for the U.S. Huh? What? Not the designer. Not the designer that these young people be selling their soul, their integrity, and their morals for. So you mean to tell me the bags that they overcharging in the U.S. stores like LV, Prada, Gucci, Christian Dior? Remember that shit came out just a few years ago. Yeah, them bags being made in China by the same people. By the same people. People that paid these prices. Are y'all okay right now?
And by the way, these comments right here are what I think started this whole thing.
We borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
And I think that's a comment that J.D. Vance should have left behind closed doors. And I can guarantee you that's when the Chinese people was like, you know what? Okay. Where I think they decided to just start being petty.
In this episode of the Ghetto Americas, have y'all seen the Chinese people are on here spilling the tea? I like them. They said, oh, we some peasants, hold my purse. They spilling all the tea, y'all.
You know who is producing high quality accessories for those luxury brands like Chanel, Estee Lauder, L'Oreal? You're saying you're the supplier behind all these beauty accessories for those big luxury brands? La Freya, MAC, Chanel, Bobbi Brown, and even Rosewood Hotel.
Last week we also received an order, L'Occitane. Yeah, the comb like 20,000
the comb,
one color.
Now, there's nothing a Chinese factory can't make. Brooks Brothers, a premium shirt brand from the States, actually produce most of their products all in China. Who are the suppliers behind the Salomon, Timberland, New Balance, Adidas, Nike, la 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 la? First, the Baocheng factory, one of the world's largest OEM sports shoe manufacturer. It is like a Foxconn in the shoemaking industry. During its heyday, it has over 100,000 employees in just one of its factories.
Hello from China. Let me show you the United States products in my home. Nothing. Do you have something from China in your home?
Come with me to check out China's biggest luxury wholesaler. Thanks to President Trump's recent tariffs, Chinese manufacturers for luxury brands like Hermes, Chanel, LV, etc. are coming out of the woods and offering direct sale to us peasants and the US at a pinch of the price. When you walk in, they hand you gloves because the goods you're about to handle are still the same top quality. I've never seen so many Hermes bags lined up in front of me, let alone try every size and color on like I'm in Walmart. Best part is there's no sales assistant stalking you, no upsells, and you're only paying 20% of the price. These only range from $250 to $500. That's a steal. Manufacturers are exposing luxury brands for what the bags actually cost. Now that Donnie's pissed off the peasants, all hell's broken loose.
Zara supplier in China. So Zara have different suppliers for different categories of things. For their sweaters or like jumpers, they source from Changshu Sophia West Sweater Co., Changshu Sophia Maoshan. Also, this company 东莞普莱雅纺织科技有限公司 东莞普莱雅 Textile Technology. For their puffer jackets, they source from this company 泉州鲁鲁森服饰 泉州鲁鲁森 Garment. For their nightgowns, they source from this Shantou Longhu District 锦织 Shantou 龙湖区锦织毛织厂. They also supply Acne Studio, Armani, and also Celine. For their trousers, they source from 东莞创点 Clothing, 东莞创点服饰. For their shoes, they're supplied by 元利通 Shoes Co. Limited, 元利通鞋业. 东阳猎超 Clothing Factory, they supply belts for Zara. 义乌阿兰 Jewelry, they supply hair accessories. And for the jewelry, they are supplied by 青岛 Jinbao Jewelry Co.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans.
And we all know China can't beat us in a physical war. Maybe they can get us in a cyber attack or something, but they can win and get us as far as on the consumer front, because they know Americans act like they can't live without Chinese products.
Kiss TikTok goodbye. Yeah, there's no way China is going to give up TikTok. They've shown us now how petty they can be. Just within 24 hours, China has been able to launch a full-scale army, an army of social media marketers. The mission of this army is to lift the veil. They're setting shit straight. They're showing off their clean subways. They're showing off their warehouses, their manufacturing piece. They're showing us their back end. And they're saying, come get it directly from us. Come get it directly from us. And they're using their platform. I know your FYP is full of dropshippers and wholesalers telling you how you can buy directly from them and that you don't necessarily need that middleman. And who's that middleman? The brands, the luxury market, the name, the American name. Let's just examine what has happened within the last 24 hours. They exposed the entire luxury industry as essentially being a ripoff, being a fake. I don't know, y'all. I'm pretty sure we're cooked. I'm pretty sure this is the end.
I love what China doing. Keep on exposing these big brands. I just saw a video of this lady saying that, yeah, Lululemon, yeah, those leggings that y'all are paying $100 for, $5, $6 over there. Like, and they so petty because now the suppliers are saying, hey, y'all can just come to us directly. You ain't even got to do all that. Don't go to Alibaba. You come right to us. And those wedding bands that y'all are paying thousands of dollars for, you can get that same wedding band for $2. And he really think he doing something with these tariffs. Like, you ain't doing nothing but just exposing yourself and exposing this country. Like, this back and forth mess that he's doing, he's just causing such a big...
So, since Donald Trump did his little 1-2 with the tariffs or whatever, China has been exposing so many high-end luxury brands. Like, I've been watching so many videos on my FYP page. And I've been saving them, too, because, you know, I don't know if this app would do us 1-2 and I won't be able to find them no more. But they're basically saying y'all paying hundreds of dollars for a top and bottoms, and they're $5 to $6 over here. So why not cut out Lululemon and come shop with us direct? If y'all see me with 50 Lululemon sets, just know China put it on my butt, okay? Like, I'm about to have flavors. And two, like, I wasn't about to give that man no money. He racist, and he do not care for minorities at all. So why am I about to keep making him richer? And you basically said out loud you don't want us wearing your clothes. I'm gonna go to China.
So the gag is these big luxury brands are a big scam. Y'all thinking that y'all getting stuff from Italy and everything, but it's really originally made in China. Those same set bags, y'all are like, oh, it's fake. It's made in China. Yeah, your bag is made in China too. It's just they just put some pizzazz on it and just switched it from made in China to made in Italy, because they bought from these, like, China as being the supplier. Like, oh my gosh, such a scam. This country, such a scam. So y'all paying for a name. Y'all not really paying for, like, the bag per se. Y'all think y'all are, but y'all really paying for the name, because what y'all saying is fake and bootleg is actually the same bag that you're paying thousands of dollars for.
Here they are on Alibaba. Just download the app, and somewhere down here it's going to give you the option to chat now. Just message them and let them know what you'd like. Guys, look at this. I've definitely seen these leggings on the Lululemon website when I'd be browsing. I've definitely seen these things. Just keep in mind that some of them have like minimum 500 pieces. You want to go for the ones with minimum 2 pieces. Click into it, click chat now, and get yourself some Lululemon for a special.
FYP is full of these videos from China just sharing how they manufacture luxury goods and how they're trying to just go straight to the consumers now, and they don't even want to work with these brands, it seems like. I'm surprised more people didn't know that they'll, like, for example, if they're doing like a luxury bag, they'll probably make the majority of the bag in China, and then they'll ship it back to whatever country it is, and then in that country they'll either add some finishing touches or they'll add their logo or some sort of something, right? They'll add something, so that allows them to be able to write made in Italy or made in America, not 100% made in America. And I'm surprised more people don't know that, but like the quality for China products are just as good. We always had this assumption that China goods are not good, but it's all propaganda at this point. And all I see right now is that China is going to keep growing and surpassing all the other countries. This is a long time coming, because for a really long time, a lot of people looked down on China, but now more people are traveling to China and seeing the reality of the situation.
If I see any of y'all say I paid full price for a Louis, Gucci, Prada, Versace, any of that shit that is made in China, I'ma laugh at you. Yep. Because I just found out that all them hoes are the same. If you got your Gucci from DHH, bitch, it's the same Gucci in the stores. It just got a label. Y'all ain't doing nothing but paying for a label. You label whores are about to be so pressed and so mad, because y'all are not actually buying anything worth of substance. Y'all buying the same shit that we buy on DH Gate, which I ain't never bought anything from DH Gate, but now I am. I'm going to go get me a Gucci purse from DH Gate because I didn't know that was the same thing.
And I'm low-key enjoying this because all the people from my past that I remember showing me, Louis Vuitton shirts and bags and just trying to show it off as if it makes them better than someone else. But as we're seeing this now, all of those people look real silly to me. It's like, dude, you really paid $4,000 for a shirt that costs $20 to make. Like, this gotta be the greatest scam of all time.
Its heyday, it has over 100,000 employees in just one of its factories in Dongguan. What even surprised me is that it owns an independent brand called YY Sport. It's like a distributor for sports shoes like Nike and Adidas, same as like Locker in America and JD Sports in England.
So I'm guessing it's safe to say that China is currently winning this trade war. And all y'all motherfuckers that be on here when I was talking about reps and retail are the same fucking thing because they're coming from the same fucking place out there in China, y'all thought I was crazy. Y'all said I was making shit up. See, all those fake talking points that we've been using since the Cold War, about child labor, sweat, they don't do that shit. That's not how shit work over there. It's not. But, good old American propaganda, American exceptionalism, we just think we're the best over here. The whole time, we really the ones living in sweatshops. And it all got exposed to the average American when they did this TikTok shutdown. And everybody flocked to Red App, and we saw how bad we were living in poverty over here. They got high-speed rails, affordable clothes, affordable fucking food. You know what I'm saying? The affordable housing. Whole time, we over here struggling in the slums. Then we over here going band for band on this trade shit. And we losing. Because they've been doing it, they've been preparing for this moment for decades, bro. They've been aligning themselves with the global south to replace our American consumerism so they could take the brunt of this bullshit, and it's working. They're literally flying goods into Vietnam in order to avoid the tariffs because and they're getting their goods brought into Vietnam and then flying them from there to China to avoid some of that tariff shit. They have the logistical supply chain and manufacturing means to take the brunt of this shit and come out on the positive end of what we can know. So America's been, bullying people for the longest. It's not working right now. Then look what they did with I Show Speed. That's how they're getting the younger generation to see like, okay, we're not that bad. They got I Show Speed to come out there to China and basically give them free promotion for like about 10 days. I think he used that 10-day visa-free shopping thing that they're offering, people to come out there and just buy stuff and see China. So we're losing socially, we're losing culturally, we're losing economically. The last thing that you can do is go to war. I'm telling you, it's coming, bro. They've literally eradicated poverty, damn near. I think 90% of their population is in the middle class. But then you got Americans that'll say oh, well, middle class for them is like $15,000 a year. Yeah, but when their rent is like $200, you know what I'm saying? Their food is like $1. Like, what are we really doing here? You know what I'm saying? They can live a comfortable middle class life on $17,000 to $43,000 out there. Meanwhile, you got people in America making well over 6 figures and live paycheck to paycheck. See, but that's what happens when you have unchecked capitalism and you allow corporate entities and CEOs to take over and, basically suck everything dry from the middle class, aka Reagan. This is when all it started, Reagan. Meanwhile, in China, their focus is the people. This is not vouching for them or any of that. It's just noticing the stark difference in between letting corporate greed and the dollar run a country versus people who care and understand the importance of supporting the people to get what you want.
But anyone that's not a sheep and understand the business and marketing tactics, we already knew luxury brands was a scam. Yeah, for a lot of us who are not materialistic at all and definitely not about that materialistic life, it's just gonna be another spring season for us. We are really not tripping over this. It's just funny, that's all. I mean, can you imagine paying $2,000 for a purse or a shirt that was made for $5? Like, China is also low-key calling American consumers slow. It's almost like they want to say, this is what y'all been paying for, you freaking dummies. And Americans who bought this stuff, they should feel a bit silly. You got finessed out of thousands of dollars for something that is cheap, like the items in Walmart and Target. So yeah, we definitely gonna have to see how these tariffs wars plays out, because like I said, I don't think the Trump administration saw this coming. We see that China is not trying to budge. They pretty much saying that, you know, they've been around for 5,000 years. They don't need the U.S. Apparently the U.S. need China. And the sad part of all of this is, do you know how many people have been injured or killed behind luxury brands? People have been robbed for their shoes, shot for their clothing, all over something that's not even real or worth valuing. That's why it's best that people only put their money into appreciating assets. Put your money in something that will grow or something that will add value to your quality of life. Hopefully this opened people's eyes up not to be so wasteful with their money. But anyways, you guys drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about this tariff war. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.